Welcome back to the channel USA Coins 69. Today we are talking about a coin that Canada literally killed off, yet millions still sit in jars and drawers while a few versions quietly sell for real money. This is the Elizabeth II Canada 1-cent coin from 1970, a penny that looks harmless, boring, almost forgettable, until you realize it comes from a year packed with hidden varieties and collector surprises. In the next few minutes I'll show you why this tiny copper coin still matters, how to spot details most people miss, and which 1970 pennies collectors will actually pay for at the end. Stay with me, because this coin proves that even something officially discontinued can still hold serious interest and real value. Today we are looking closely at the 1970 Canadian 1-cent coin, a piece that represents the final decades of everyday pennies in Canada. Bring the coin up close and center the shot on the front. You'll see a young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, calm and clean, designed by Arnold Makin. The lettering is simple and elegant, with Elizabeth II and De Grazia Regina wrapping around the portrait, and the date 1970 sitting quietly at the bottom. Now flip the coin over and let the reverse fill the screen. Two maple leaves sit on a single twig, sharp and unmistakably Canadian, with 1 cent written boldly across the center. This design was created by Alex Colville, and it's one of the most recognizable coin designs Canada ever produced. Here's where the story starts to get interesting. 1970 pennies were struck in massive numbers, and because of that, almost nobody thought to save them. They were spent, scratched, tossed into change jars, and forgotten, which makes high-quality examples much harder to find today. Zoom in on the maple leaves and the veins inside them. Crisp lines mean a stronger strike, and weak or flat details usually mean heavy circulation. Now let's talk about the detail that turns an ordinary penny into a collector hunt. The 1970 Canada 1-cent comes in two main date varieties, known as the large date and the small date. Put the camera close on the numbers. On the small date, the numbers are thinner and more delicate, especially the 9 and the 0. On the large date, the numbers look bolder and more rounded. Most people never notice this difference, yet collectors absolutely do, and they'll pay more for the scarcer variety in high condition. Here's a cliffhanger that catches even experienced collectors. Some 1970 pennies show double-punched dates, where the numbers appear slightly shifted or doubled under magnification. Others were struck off-center, clipped, or even on the wrong metal, creating dramatic mint errors that instantly raise value. These aren't damaged coins, they're mistakes from the mint itself, and each one tells a story you can't replicate. Tilt the coin under a strong light and slowly rotate it. Watch how the surface reacts. Proof-like examples, often pulled from collector sets, shine brighter and show sharper detail compared to regular circulation strikes. Cut to a side-by-side shot of a dull circulated coin and a proof-like example so viewers can see the difference immediately. Here's another twist. Canada officially removed the penny from circulation in 2013, which turned every surviving 1-cent coin into a piece of history overnight. That change sparked renewed interest in older dates like 1970, especially among collectors who enjoy end-of-era coins. Now let's talk honest market value, no hype, just reality. Most circulated 1970 Canadian pennies are worth only a few cents today. Uncirculated examples usually sell for about $1 to $5 depending on condition. Small date varieties in high-grade condition can sell for $10 to $50. Proof-like examples from mint sets often sell in the range of $5 to $15. Major mint errors can sell anywhere from $20 to several $100 depending on how dramatic and well-preserved they are. Not bad for a coin most people once ignored completely. So now I want to hear from you. Do you own a 1970 Canadian 1-cent coin, or have you ever checked your pennies for date varieties? Which discontinued coin would you love to add to your collection? A Canadian penny, a US wheat cent, or something even older? Drop your answer in the comments and let's see what collectors around the world are holding. The 1970 Elizabeth II Canada 1-cent coin proves that small coins can carry big stories, hidden details, and real collector appeal. Today we are talking about a tiny copper coin that almost everyone has ignored, spent, or tossed into a jar, yet some versions of it can quietly shock collectors when they look closer, because this 1972 Canada 1-cent coin has secrets hiding in plain sight. This is the kind of coin people say, "No way," about, until they zoom in, tilt it under the light, and realize something is very off. Because one small detail can turn a common penny into something collectors actively hunt for. Stay with me. Because in a few minutes I'll show you exactly what to look for on the 1972 Elizabeth II Canadian 1 cent, why certain examples stand out from the millions made, and how much real money the right one can actually bring at auction today. Today we are diving into the United States of Canada Elizabeth II 1 cent coin from 1972, a year most people never talk about, yet one that sits right in the middle of a major era for Canadian coinage. As you look at the coin on screen, notice Queen Elizabeth II. Facing right, calm and timeless, with her name circling the edge, and if you're watching closely, this portrait already tells part of the story. This design represents a young Queen Elizabeth II, created during a time when Canada was modernizing fast, but still holding tightly to tradition, and that mix is exactly why small variations happened at the mint. Flip the coin over and you see the iconic maple leaves on a single twig, bold and instantly Canadian, with the date 1972 below. And this is where things start to get interesting. At first glance, this coin feels ordinary, but collectors know that ordinary coins are often the ones hiding the best surprises. Now here's the part that most people miss, and if you have one of these at home, this is where you should pause the video and really look closely at your coin. Some 1972 Canadian 1 cent coins were struck with noticeable doubling in the lettering, especially around the word Canada and the date, and under magnification this doubling can jump right out at you. This isn't damage, and it isn't wear, it's a true double die effect that happened during the minting process, and collectors absolutely love this kind of mistake. Another thing to watch for is weak strikes, where parts of the maple leaves or the queen's hair look softer than normal, because uneven pressure at the mint can create coins that stand out from standard examples. There are also examples with off-center strikes, where the design looks slightly shifted, and even a small shift can dramatically increase collector interest. Now let me tell you why 1972 matters more than people think, because this was a year of massive production, which means mistakes slipped through more easily than in low mintage years. When millions of coins are being produced, speed matters, and speed leads to errors, and errors are exactly what collectors chase decades later. Imagine someone in 1972 buying a coffee, getting this penny in change, and never realizing that 50 years later, someone would be examining it under a magnifying glass. If you're watching B-roll right now, this is where you'd see extreme close-ups of the lettering, slow pans across the maple leaves, and side-angle shots that reveal doubling and strike quality. Here's a cliffhanger for you, because not all 1972 pennies are worth more, but the right combination of condition and error can completely change the story of this coin. Condition matters more than most people realize, and a 1972 1 cent in uncirculated or near mint condition is far scarcer than a worn one pulled from circulation. Coins that were saved in rolls or collections, never spent, never cleaned, and never scratched, are the ones that collectors fight over today. And please remember this, cleaning a coin can destroy its value instantly, even if it looks shinier afterward. Now let's talk real numbers, no hype, no exaggeration, just the honest market. A normal circulated 1972 Canada 1 cent coin is usually worth only a small amount, often just a few cents over face value, depending on condition, but an uncirculated example can sell for several dollars, especially if it has strong detail and original color. If you find a clear double die or a noticeable mint error, values can jump significantly, with some verified error examples selling for tens of dollars, and in stronger cases, even higher at auction. Certified examples with strong eye appeal and documented errors have been known to reach into the higher double-digit range, depending on demand and condition. So the next time you see a jar of old pennies, don't rush past the Canadian ones, especially if you spot that 1972 date. Do you own any Canadian pennies, or have you ever checked them closely for errors like this? Which coin would you love to find one day, a rare penny, a silver coin, or a major mint error? Today we are talking about a coin that most Canadians spent without a second thought, yet some 2008 1 cent pieces have quietly become collector surprises that can actually be worth more than their face value. This is the Elizabeth II Canada 1 cent from 2008, a tiny copper coin that looks ordinary, but a few examples hide small details and minting quirks that make them stand out in collections around the world. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why this 2008 penny deserves a Second look, how to spot errors and unique features, and which examples are commanding real money at auctions today. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never glance at a 2008 Canadian penny the same way again. Today we are diving into the 2008 Canadian 1 cent, one of the last pennies struck before Canada finally phased out its iconic copper coin. Bring the coin close to the camera and focus on the front. You'll see Queen Elizabeth II facing right, calm and composed, with her name encircling the portrait, and the date 2008 at the bottom. This design has been familiar for decades, yet subtle differences in the strike and finish make some coins far more desirable than others. Flip the coin over and let the maple leaves fill the screen. Two crisp leaves sit on a single twig, delicate and instantly recognizable, with 1 cent across the bottom and Canada proudly above. At first glance, it's a simple design, but collectors know that even small variations in detail can make a huge difference. Here's the first cliffhanger. Some 2008 pennies were struck with doubled dies, where letters or numbers appear slightly doubled under magnification, and spotting one instantly changes the coin's appeal. Others have off-center strikes, weak details, or tiny die cracks that make each coin one of a kind. Tilt the coin under a bright light and rotate it slowly to see how the details jump out. These are the quirks that minting machines occasionally produce, and collectors love every single one of them. Proof-like examples are another feature to watch for. These coins have mirror-like fields and frosted details that set them apart from regular circulation strikes. Cut to a close-up shot of a proof-like 2008 penny under bright light, then pan to a standard circulated coin so viewers can instantly see the difference in shine and detail. Here's the real twist. 2008 was one of the final years before Canada stopped producing pennies entirely in 2012, which means every surviving coin is part of the final chapter of an era. Condition matters even more than usual because so many of these coins were still in circulation for years, and uncirculated or high-grade examples are far rarer than the numbers suggest. Show a side-by-side shot of a heavily circulated penny versus a clean uncirculated one to highlight how condition drives value instantly. Now let's talk real market numbers, no hype, just what collectors are paying. Most circulated 2008 pennies are worth just a few cents over face value. Uncirculated examples can sell for $1 to $3 depending on condition. Proof-like or collector set coins often sell in the range of $3 to $10. Error coins, including doubled dies or off-center strikes, can sell from $20 up to over $100 for dramatic examples in excellent condition. That's serious collector value hiding in a coin most people never give a second thought. So here's a question for you. Do you own a 2008 Canadian penny, and have you ever checked it for doubled dies or mint errors? Which coin would you love to add to your collection? A proof-like penny, a sharp uncirculated piece, or a dramatic error coin? Drop your answer in the comments and let's see what collectors around the world are finding. The 2008 Elizabeth II Canadian 1 cent shows that even the smallest coins can carry big stories, hidden details, and real collector interest. Today we are talking about a coin that most Canadians spent without thinking, yet a few 1982 1-cent coins quietly stand out as collector favorites because tiny details can turn an ordinary penny into something surprisingly valuable. This is the Elizabeth II Canada 1 cent from 1982, a coin that looks simple at first glance, but if you know what to look for, it tells a story about minting errors, rare varieties, and the final decades of classic Canadian pennies. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what makes this coin interesting, how to spot differences most people miss, and which examples collectors are paying real money for today. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, a 1982 penny in your change might be worth more than you ever imagined. Today we are diving into the 1982 Canadian 1 cent, a coin that represents a time when Canada was still producing copper pennies but starting to approach the end of an era. Bring the coin close to the camera and focus on the front. You'll see a young Queen Elizabeth II facing right, with her name circling the portrait and DG Regina included. Classic and instantly recognizable. The portrait looks simple, but collectors know that small differences in the strike and design details can make one coin stand out from another. Now flip the coin over and let the maple leaves fill the screen. Two leaves on a single twig, delicate veins visible, with 1 cent across the bottom and Canada above. Simple design, but small variations can hide huge collector value. Here's where the story gets interesting. 1982 pennies were struck in massive numbers, but even in a high mintage year, errors happened, and some coins slipped through with subtle mistakes. Some 1982 pennies have doubled dies, where letters or numbers appear slightly doubled under magnification, especially around the date or Canada. Spotting one of these changes a coin from ordinary to collectible instantly. Other coins show off-center strikes, weak details, or tiny die cracks, creating one-of-a-kind pieces that collectors love. Tilt the coin under a bright light and rotate it slowly. The doubling and strike variations jump right out, and once you notice them, you can't unsee them. Proof-like examples are another feature to watch for. These coins, often from collector sets, have mirror-like fields and frosted details that set them apart from regular circulation strikes. Show a close-up of a proof-like coin under bright light, then a standard circulated coin, so viewers can instantly see the difference in shine and detail. Here's a cliffhanger. 1982 was a year that sits right in the middle of Canada's penny production era, which means many coins were used heavily, but high-grade examples are much rarer than you think. Condition matters more than ever because so many pennies from this year were spent, dropped, or jarred away for decades. Show a side-by-side shot of a heavily circulated penny versus a crisp uncirculated one to highlight how condition drives value immediately. Now let's talk real market value, no exaggeration, just what collectors are paying. Most circulated 1982 Canadian pennies are worth only a few cents over face value. Uncirculated examples can sell for $1 to $5 depending on condition. Dramatic double dies or other mint errors can sell from $20 up to over $100 for exceptional examples in top condition. Proof-like examples from collector sets often sell in the range of $3 to $10, depending on condition and eye appeal. That's real collector money hiding in a coin. Most people never gave a second thought, so let me ask you, do you own a 1982 Canadian penny, and have you ever checked it for double dies or mint errors? Which coin would you love to find in your collection? A crisp uncirculated piece, a proof-like coin, or a dramatic error coin? Drop your answers in the comments and let's see what collectors around the world are discovering. The 1982 Elizabeth II Canadian 1 cent proves that even small coins can carry big stories, hidden details, and real collector appeal. Today we are talking about a coin that most Canadians spent without a second thought, yet some 1978 1-cent pieces hide secrets that can make collectors sit up and take notice. This is the Elizabeth II Canada 1 cent from 1978, a coin that looks ordinary in your pocket, but tiny minting quirks and rare varieties can turn a simple penny into a valuable collector's item. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what to look for, why certain 1978 pennies stand out, and how much money these little coins can actually fetch at auction today. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, the pennies in your change might start looking a lot more interesting. Today we are diving into the 1978 Canadian 1 cent, a coin minted during a time when Canada was producing copper pennies in massive numbers, but even in high production years, rare errors slipped through. Bring the coin up close to the camera and focus on the front. You'll see a young Queen Elizabeth II facing right, with her name encircling the portrait, calm and timeless, and the inscription DG Regina at the bottom, classic Canadian design that collectors instantly recognize. Flip the coin over and check out the maple leaves. 2 leaves on a single twig, bold and detailed, with 1 cent at the bottom and Canada above. At first glance it looks simple, but small variations in the design or strike can create significant collector value. Here's the first cliffhanger. Some 1978 pennies were struck with double dies, especially around the date and the word Canada. Under magnification, letters appear slightly doubled, and spotting one of these coins instantly makes it special. Other coins show off-center strikes, weak details, or minor die cracks, creating one-of-a-kind examples that collectors love. Tilt the coin under a bright light and rotate it slowly. You can see how subtle differences in the minting process create coins that are unique and highly sought after. Proof-like examples are another feature to watch for. Coins with mirror-like fields and frosted details stand out immediately compared to normal circulation strikes. Show a side-by-side close-up of a proof-like 1978 penny and a regular circulated coin, highlighting the difference in shine and detail. here's the twist. 1978 was still a high-production year, meaning most coins were spent and worn heavily, but the uncirculated and proof-like examples are much rarer than you might expect. Condition is key because the more pristine the coin, the higher its collector value, especially for coins that show off double dies or other minting quirks. Show a side-by-side shot of a worn penny versus a crisp uncirculated example to highlight the impact of condition on value. Now let's talk numbers, no hype, just real market values. Most circulated 1978 pennies are worth only a few cents over face value. Uncirculated examples can sell for $1 to $3 depending on condition. Proof-like or collector set coins often sell for $3 to $10. Dramatic error coins, like clear double dies or off-center strikes, can sell from $20 up to over $100 in top condition. That's real collector value hiding in a coin most people never gave a second thought. So here's a question for you. Do you own a 1978 Canadian penny, and have you ever checked it closely for double dies or mint errors? Which coin would you love to add to your collection? A crisp uncirculated piece, a proof-like penny, or a dramatic error coin? Drop your answers in the comments, because collectors love seeing what rare coins people are discovering. The 1978 Elizabeth II Canadian 1 cent proves that even the smallest coins can carry big stories, hidden details, and real collector appeal. If this video made you look at pennies differently, hit like, subscribe for more coin stories, and check out the next video where we uncover another everyday coin hiding surprising value.